Hello everyone and welcome. This is the Silent K and today we're playing some MekHQ slash MegaMek. We are going to be picking up where we left off, but first a couple of quick shout outs. Shout out to my newest Twitch follower. I don't know if that's Heidi Roll or High Tyrrell. I'm going to go with High Tyrrell because I know that Tyrrell is a name and high is an adjective. Also, we have a new member on our Discord. I'd like to welcome Moleman, formally and all that. So picking up where we left off last week, we do have almost our entire force deployed. The exceptions being Lark, who is still injured and whose hunchback is still damaged. And also Earl is actually, that's something I wanted to address. I don't think I mentioned this last week, but the injury that Earl sustained last week is a broken right arm. That's going to keep him out of action for 27 days. So I don't know if I'd mentioned that last week or not, but I saw that and I was like, ooh, it's a good thing we're close to the end of this contract. Speaking of which, we are close to the end of this contract. It's ending on the 18th. It's currently the 1st of June. As you can see, it's been a long and storied campaign on the planet of Wing, which is in is that Merrick space, just south of the Federated Commonwealth. So I had mentioned Earl being out for the next 27 days, and Jacoby is also out for the next 3. Hopefully his hunchback will be back together by then. Other than the hunchback, which is being worked on, we do also have the trebuchet, the rifleman, thunderbolt, archer, and guillotine all waiting in line to be repaired. However, that is going to have to wait until we finish this mission. This is a chase mission, and just to recap our objectives, the Valkyrie needs to survive. We need to reach the north edge with at least 50% of our forces and the Valkyrie. And unless we can destroy literally everything on the field, the defender will control the battlefield at the end of the battle. So last week I remember I had been talking about oh hey Varenk, how's it going? I'm glad you could join us. I was actually kind of expecting you to call me out on my little slip at the beginning of the stream, where I yeah, if you didn't see it, you'll catch it on YouTube, I'm sure. So I had been debating whether or not it would be possible to outrun all of these, and the answer is not really. For the most part, they're 5.8s and 6.96s, and we're 5.8s and 4.64s, except for, you know, the awesome, which will be arriving next turn. I'm sure volume doesn't automatically kick on Twitch for me. I'm showing normal volume levels. I don't know, I don't understand what you mean by kick on. Okay, cool. I'm glad my volume is fine, but I'm not sure what you mean by kicking on Twitch. Okay. So yeah, we are at the point right now where we have 3 4.6s that we need to deploy. We currently have a couple of 5.85s trying to make a run up the right side, and a 4.64 trying to make it up the left side. I have to click again to get volume even when I'm sitting and waiting. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Inconvenient at the very least. So these 2 Wolverines and the Phoenix Hawk are going to be on our Wolverine like the whole time. The Valkyrie, being specifically an objective that we need to survive, is going to abandon the Wolverine. He cannot afford to get tangled in this mess. However, the Hermes and the Locust and the Vedette and the Whitworth and the Trebuchet, I feel like the Wolverine can get away from 2/3 of the force that's currently on over here harrying him. So what I was thinking is that I would deploy the majority of my force over here where they're weak. Since we can't outrun them or outgun them, I was thinking I could maybe outmaneuver and outsmart them. So if I deploy 2 archers and an Orion over here, it should make short work of this Shadowhawk, which is the Shadowhawk against the Blackjack is kind of an unfair fight in the Shadowhawk's favor. So I didn't want to try to one-on-one that, but I think it would be foolish to try to send support into this mess to try to get the Wolverine out. I think the Wolverine is going to be evasive and defensive enough to make it to the far side of the map in the dark and everything. So I was planning, let's start with the Orion in the front, because he's the one with the autocannon. And yes, of course, I have to replace the players. I'm just gonna let them use their default settings. Oh, none. Okay. I'm having a hard time predicting how many times I need to click the replace players button. That's the Mark II. I think I want Wyvern in the Mark III taking the lead, just because his lasers are more effective. Oh, that's unexpected. If that Hetzer doesn't get out of the way, this archer will have to spend a turn on top of him before he's allowed to continue on, because you can't move through an enemy vehicle space. You can only enter or leave it in your turn. So that Hetzer might end up being a substantial barrier if I want to put my other archer here, which I definitely do. The 6 column, I think, might also be viable, well, for a while, at least. Yeah, let's go ahead and place him back here. He's not going to be able to move far in the darkness. I'm thinking I can move to here, torso twist to the side, and catch this Hetzer. And hopefully not get tagged by that autocannon 20. Alternately, I could stick him over here, Pernita, spend the extra turn on top of the Hetzer and carry on, and hope I don't get shot in the back by an autocannon 20, which doesn't sound like a great plan to me, so I don't want to give the Hetzer a back shot on my archer, if I can help it at all, because I know my luck. And my luck would be getting shot in the back and having it touch off the ammo. And we are even slower than I had reckoned on. I thought that we'd be able to go at least 2 hexes. Okay, we're saving you for last so they can all bunch up around you. Wait. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. 1 hex for 4 movement points. That's kind of rough. Saving you. I'd like to save you. We know that you're moving as far away as humanly possible. And actually, let me pull the map out from under there. I'm trying not to move this because I had specifically placed it while I was watching my camera, which is why y'all got that little peek at the beginning of the stream. So who did he move? She, I guess. Well, the Drillston has moved, the Wasps have moved, Hunchback, the Trebuchet, the Vedette, and the Whitworth have all moved. However, this cluster right here is biding their time. Also, not what I thought the Shadowhawk was going to do. That Hetzer has me pretty worried. And also, Wyvern can no longer advance because there's a Shadowhawk in his way. If I try to get a back shot on the Shadowhawk, I'm directly in the path of this Hetzer. Well, not directly in its path, but in its front arc, which is the important thing when you're dealing with a Hetzer. Maybe Tsubasa can jump down here and lend a hand? Because I feel like that Shadowhawk is going to be a serious impediment against these guys, because he's got more mobility with the jump jets than anything else I've got down here besides Blackjack. However, this Shadowhawk with the autocannon and the LRM, not terribly suited for close-in fighting. Blackjack, with its 4 medium lasers and double heat sinks, should be able to make pretty short work of him. Alright, yeah, we're just gonna have you stand still and take the best shot you've got. And through the wonders of initiative, we have managed to get away from that mess. Unfortunately, I did forget during the movement phase to turn on my searchlights, which is what I'm sure this is, yeah. There is an option there was an option in the earlier versions to disable everyone having searchlights, which I would do if I could, but apparently they removed that option in 49.3, or at some point, and so you can no longer do that. Which is kind of a shame. I was talking to the devs about it and they said, well, we've had a lot of people asking for it back, so we might put it back in. Which, you know, would be lovely. Because, I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I don't feel like every mech has a searchlight, because otherwise, you know, why is it a quirk? Do we fire on the Locust on 9s, or the Scorpion tank on 9s? The Hunchback or the Trebuchet? I really don't want to take any 10s. That's just too likely to miss. With a 9, at least you have a decent chance. Hetzer's 11s because of range. The Locust has low profile. Scorpion's probably our best target. Wait. Oh, the Hetzer has multiple weapon systems? Since when? Oh, that's a searchlight. And then there they come on the mech normally. I agree. Also try to change out of night battles. Yeah, we didn't have any rerolls. So I'm trying to play this as it comes. With some exceptions. I have house rules, and I've actually started noting them down. Just so that they're, you know, documented. But for right now, there's no way to take away everyone's searchlights, and Princess loves using searchlights. She will eliminate all of your guys. And I forgot to turn mine on during the movement phase, so we don't have that advantage. So we'll take the shots that we've got as best we can. Dang, that autocannon. I really wanted to hit the Shadowhawk with it, but maybe I'll hit the Scorpion. 7's pretty likely. 11, 7, and an 11 with the SRMs. I really, really, really want this Hetzer dead as soon as friggin' possible. Also, I did put them. I put the Mark III. Yeah, the Mark II is this one. Okay. I had them confused. I was like, I knew I wanted the Mark III to be in the front, and it is. We'll fire 1 on 11. I'm not trying to build up 4 heat on such a lousy shot, though. And Tsubasa has 11s because he jumped, among other things. And we will take as many of those as we can afford. 29. I want to save that for when we've got a better shot. Oh, and there is infantry firing on the Valkyrie. 16, we've got a 14, which translates to a 10. I mean, any shot is better than no shot, right? Okay, literally everyone gets illuminated by searchlights. Our Archer Mark II hits the Hetzer in the front with 2 medium lasers, knocking him down to 20 armor. Does miss with the LRM 20. Comes kind of close to starting a fire, but needed a 12 because of conditions. Is it windy, I think? Pitch black. I guess it's windy enough to make it harder to start a fire, but not so windy to affect missiles? I forget what the condition was. I don't feel like checking right now. I'll just be content to know that it's hard to start a fire right now. The Hetzer misses on a 7. Wow, I did not realize he had such an easy shot, and I'm super glad he missed. The Vedette misses, the Wolverine misses, the Orion missing on 7s as well. Infantry shooting at the Valkyrie missed, needed a 12. Enemy Wolverine does land a hit on our Mark II Archer's left leg with his autocannon. And our Mark III Archer missing 2 out of 4 5s with the lasers, hitting the left side twice, down to 12 armor. And also hitting with 16 LRMs, also all to the left side, which is just enough to destroy the thing. So, wish granted. I approve. I am super stoked about that. I was really worried about that Hetzer getting multiple shots into my back arc as it followed us up the map. The enemy Whitworth landing 12 LRMs on our Mark II Archer to the right leg and right arm primarily. Also destroying our searchlight, so for at least one of our mechs, that's no longer an option. Wasp missing the Archer, Trebuchet landing 24 missiles on the Archer on 9s. Nice rolling. Hitting the left arm twice, the right arm once, and the left leg for 9 points. Down to 11 armor on that leg, which is slightly worrisome for how early on the mission it is. I was going to say turn 1, but, you know, obviously we all entered on, like, turn 6, I think it was. Blackjack on the Shadowhawk, missing on 11s, does manage to start a fire, rolling a 12 for the fire check. So the Shadowhawk's going to have a couple extra heat next turn, no big deal, he can handle it. The Scorpion Light Tank also firing on the Mark II Archer, hitting with 10 LRMs to the right torso, right arm, and left torso. Archer takes apparently a large laser, looks like, to the left arm from an unknown source, down to 4 armor in that arm. Now the Mark II Archer is not the one with the busted arm, is it? It is. And that left arm is now down to a total of 7 points. So one more hit like that and the arm is gone, which honestly I'm a little fine with, because that means I don't have to take everything off of that arm and fix it or replace it, because it can't be fixed. Shadowhawk at the Archer Mark III, only landing 1 SRM to the right torso. Valkyrie missing the Locust, and the Mark II Archer with 40 plus damage rolls a 2 on his piloting check, falling on the right and left torsos. Our pilot does at least manage to avoid damage, so that's cool. And then we can even go for a punch on an 8 against this Shadowhawk. Can we, how many punches can we get? Apparently just one and a kick. And then Tsubasa on an 8. I think the darkness is going to give a +1 to his piloting check. So 8 and 6 is not good enough odds. Not when they have that many units on the field. I need to be able to get away from them as quickly as possible. So I'm not going to try for the kick. Don't have access to the punch because we fired arm weapons. Alright, the Orion punched the Shadowhawk in the left arm for 8, leaving 8 armor remaining. Our Archer kicks the Shadowhawk in the left leg for 14, leaving him with 2 armor. And the Shadowhawk returns by kicking the Orion in the right leg for 12, leaving with 20 armor. The Shadowhawk goes down, the Orion stays standing, and the Shadowhawk pilot narrowly avoids getting hurt in the fall. All of our boys and girls are at 0 or 1 heat. Their Phoenix Hawk is at 4, the Whitworth is at 3, everyone else is running cool. Light Smoke has entered those hexes. And now initiative turns against us. We have lost the initiative. We are winning on the BV front, not by as much of a margin as I would like, being that we're at 96 and they're at 95, but the night is young, as they say. And we have an awesome. So the Hetzer is no longer an issue. The Shadowhawk is looking worse for the wear. They're all in a bad position over here. We are escaping up here. I would say this mission is already going better than I was hoping it would. We'll go ahead and put Hoser in that row, because he's going to be running just to move 1 hex. Might have to go Reckless, try to keep up with the rest of the crew. First things first, we know what the Valkyrie is doing. He's getting the heck out of dodge as quick as possible in the mech he's in. Let's see, that gives... Only the Trebuchet is currently in my back arc, and I don't know if he's gonna try to stay there, or if he's gonna... Needs a 6, yeah, +2 piloting because of the darkness. And we got the 6. I was a little worried there for a second. Petra in the Orion with the torso-mounted autocannon. Now this Shadowhawk can't jump this turn. And in fact, only has enough movement points to move 1 hex unless he moves recklessly, in which case he'd be able to move 6 hexes. I think it might be worth spending the time to turn this way and see if we can't nail him with our autocannon 10 once or twice before we break contact. Tsubasa, I think we jump into the woods. Thinking about this, if we turn the searchlight on, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's medium and long range for our lasers on this Scorpion. What did I say? 7? So that would be 8, which is the same, but gives us a little more cover. And gets us a little further north, which is also important. Alright. Man, it is super slow going in this dark. This 1 hex a turn thing is kind of bumming me out. self-destruct. Yeah, I guess that is an option. Maybe a zigzag pattern. I'd like to try maybe get a back shot on that wasp. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be short and medium range on the wasp. Yeah. We've got enough jump movement points so we can zigzag back and forth a little bit, I think. So the Shadowhawk fell down, taking 6 to the leg and center torso, and failing her Savannah. I'm assuming that's a girl. Failing her seatbelt check and needs a 3 to stay conscious, and then fell again, taking 6 more to the right arm and chest, again avoiding or failing to avoid damage. Needs a 5 to stay conscious, gets a 6. Alright, so the Shadowhawk, I guess, finally did stand up, or it would still be prone. Must have skimmed that part. Currently making a pretty good target for, like, everyone. Alternatively, could fire some LRMs on 8s at the Hermes or the Locust. Now, I like LRMs against the Locust because even with low profile, it reduces the amount of missiles that hit, but you're still doing chunks of 5 if you hit with enough missiles, which can take out an arm or disable a leg. Let me just see how much armor he's got. Well, 7 on the arms, 12 on the legs. So all in all, not super likely to do any crippling damage after 1 volley. But on 8s, I think that's our highest potential for efficiency right there. Wolverine was gonna try to hit the Wasp, but I don't like 10s. I do like 7s though, so maybe we can try to put a little more hurting on Wasp, on the Locust, I mean. And I like the SRMs over the medium laser because, again, the low profile and SRMs guaranteed 2 damage per, whereas a medium laser, if it hits, only does 2 damage. If you hit by a narrow margin, I mean, of course. So we've got an 8 with the autocannon, and 8s with the lasers, and an 8 with the SRM. We've got 8s with these medium lasers, and 14s or 15s. Can we do any better than 14 or 15? Ten. I mean, any shot is better than no shot. Tsubasa was planning on shooting at the Scorpion. He needs 12s, however. But I don't see anything more attractive. So we're just going to launch the 2 large lasers there. And then Hoser, who honestly I probably should have started with the PPCs and all. Needing 8s, needing what, 7s. So I want to reserve 21 heat for that. That gives us 17. So we can launch 2 PPCs and still be at 3 heat, right? Or would it be 4? That'd be 4. 3, 4. And actually, I'd rather be at 2 heat with the small laser. It's 2 less damage for 2 less heat. And honestly, that's a pretty decent trade-off. 13 with the medium laser is not going to happen. versus a 12. And we'll fire a pot shot at the Hermes. It's not going to hit. Heat it up. Yeah, but it was the medium laser. 5 damage would have put us over 4 heat. The small laser for 2 less damage would have been 2 less heat. Both, I don't think I wanted to use that option because that would have been 5 points, and I'm not trying to suffer a movement penalty next turn. Although actually, I mean, we're already running to move 1 hex. So if we lost a movement point, it would be a 2-3. No, we wouldn't be able to move at all without going reckless. So the archer does hit a glancing blow with the LRMs. Hits with 12 missiles. First cluster to the head. Nice, yeah. 5 to the right leg and 2 to the center torso as well. Our Wolverine at the Locust landing a glancing blow to the right arm, leaving him with 2 armor, and a glancing blow with the SRMs, hitting with 2 of them to the right torso and left arm. The Hermes at the Archer on 12s, missing everything. Orion at the Shadowhawk on 8s, missing everything. Wolverine on the Archer, needing a 10 and missing. Archer on the Shadowhawk, needing 8s and only landing 1 of them to the right torso. And the LRM 20 at the Scorpion, causing it some very minor motive system damage. Oh, the Hunchback is in range. That's our next priority target. He needs 12s right now, and he's overheating to do it. And hopefully he won't get another chance, but I think it's more likely that his next chance is going to be a better shot because he's going to be closer. Because we are moving at a crawl. The Whitworth at our Mark II Archer, missing with everything. Blackjack missing the Scorpion on 12s. Wasp LAM, landing 4 missiles on the Mark II Archer to the left torso. Trebuchet at the Archer hitting with 6 missiles to the rear, but only tagging the legs. Right leg for 5, left leg for 1. And the Awesome, hitting the right leg of the Shadowhawk with his first shot, the left leg with his large laser. So 1 armor left on that right leg and 6 structure left on the left leg. However, all of the medium lasers miss, which is some unfortunate luck. I mean, I'm glad if I got 2 hits, they were a PPC and a large laser, but I was kind of hoping for more than 2. Scorpion at the Archer landing 6 missiles to the right torso, leaving us with 9 armor there. Valkyrie missing, Shadowhawk hitting the Mark III Archer with 2 SRMs to the center torso and left torso. Jump platoon missing, Shadowhawk falls down again, takes 6 to the right arm and left arm, and barely avoids taking another point of pilot damage. So we'll be kicking him on a 2 for sure. And can we afford to kick on an 11? No, pass. We did kick the Shadowhawk in the right arm, leaving him with 1 structure and critting out his medium laser, which is like a quarter of his firepower or more. Mark II Archer is up to 4 heat. Our Wolverine is at 2 heat. Orion is at 2 heat. Hoser's Right is up to 2 heat. Their Hunchback is at 1. It's not super cold, or there would be messages. Why? He fired the autocannon, 2 medium lasers. That should be 13. I guess he only walked. I thought Hunchback's run a little hotter than that, but I guess I was wrong. I thought both lasers and the autocannon would cause him some issues. Whitworth is at 8 heat, which is nice. Trebuchet is at 4 heat. Shadowhawk is at 4 heat after taking 5 from the fire. So those are all things I like to see. I like it when the enemies heat up, because it means that they can't do as much the next turn. Or if they do, they'll suffer even bigger penalties on the next. Fire was started at 0267. That spread from the initial fire, and lots of light smoke. We've won initiative again. Yeah, wind strength is light gale, so that explains a lot. Visibility is pitch black. We're at 96% still. They're down to 92. So I'd say things are going well so far. We just need to stay well and truly clear of that hunchback. We'll start by getting our sensitive target out of the line of fire. Is it time to move recklessly? We've got the piloting of 4. That puts us in heavy smoke and a light woods, so we're evasive as all heck. We're still only walking. That should be a 4. 2 4s. One, two, three, four, five, sixes. So why is it? That was 4s with the piloting 4. This is 6s. I don't know if I want to do 6s. Not 2 of them, especially. I'm confused. I thought I knew the rules, but maybe I was mistaken. Oh, wrong button. Oh, can't back up at all. Shadowhawk hasn't moved yet. Try and hold off on that for a second. Blackjack, maybe we can 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's long range for him, medium range for us. We're taking a +3 penalty for jumping, but only getting a +2. Still, at this range, we've got the better shot. Okay, so I honestly think as long as we keep winning initiative, we could potentially take out some of these mechs. Like this wasp here, perhaps. Let's see how that works. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Two, three, four, 5. That still gives us short range for the autocannon. It's only a 4. Oh, we're not going to be able to see through the smoke, are we? Okay, everyone made all of their piloting checks. Do we have spotlights, and when can we turn them on? We can turn them on as soon as I stop forgetting to turn them on. I had thought about it, because you have to do it during the movement phase, which just ended. These guys are all illuminated by fire, And these guys like to use their searchlights, which illuminates a lot of targets for us. Um, and since they do have more searchlights than we have mechs, they could illuminate all of us. So I don't think there would be any downside necessarily to having anyone use their searchlights. I should probably be using them. Searchlight, spotlight, I mean, I feel like they're pretty much interchangeable. Oh, those are in the legs. I forget. 34, 42. Yeah, we'll go up to 5 heat because we're probably going to have to move recklessly next turn. One way or the other. We've got 11s on the hunchback. Or we've got 7s on the hunchback. That's actually pretty attractive. That would make us a 3-5 next turn, so on a run we could advance and turn. Wrong turn. This isn't Mukambura. Hello Lark, how's it going? Glad you could join us. You were... I believe you were sitting this mission out, because not in the Orion, not Archer, whatever. So, okay. Yeah, I guess you're sitting this one out. I guess I'd forgotten. My COVID recovery phase, still tired and hurting a bit, but no more sniffles, scratchy throat, or couching. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, recovering, and all that. Um, Honestly, it had kind of slipped my mind. I hope your last week has been. Hope your last week has been restful, at least. But yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better, dude. That is a relief because I have known people who have, you know, not been so fortunate. Um, Preparing to gear Gundam Tech back up to be updated again. Cool, cool. Looking forward to that. Um, the Gundam Tech is definitely pretty awesome. I like reading the reports, even the ones that I'm not in. They're so well written. Uh, it's just little snippets of action. So like, it doesn't try too hard to be, this continuity. But like, I like the descriptions that you use. That's cool. I guess he has no other targets. 11s. That's... Oh, do we want to close with the hunchback and get tangled up in that mess? What's popping here? What's the situation? We are currently trying to escape, but because it's pitch black, we're all moving at a snail's pace. So it's kind of devolved into a bit of a shootout. Their Wolverine shooting at our Wolverine, hits with the medium laser and 5 SRMs. That's the right leg again, arms. Yeah, each arm just took 2 SRMs, so that's 4 points off each. Hoser missing the 3 PPCs on 8s and hitting with the large laser to the left torso rear. Wasp missing, Archer on the hunchback, hitting with 18 LRMs to the right arm, right leg, right arm, and right torso. Their Wolverine at our Wolverine missing on 9s and 11s. Our Wolverine at the Hermes, hitting the left torso rear with a crit on the engine, because crits transfer to the center torso when the side torso is empty. Snyder, hey, how's it going? Glad you could join us. Been reading up on lore on Solaris mechs lately. Kind of hope HBS does a game or even a DLC about Solaris mech tournaments. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Very fast paced because you're only moving one mech versus one mech, presumably. I assume, you could do like an exhibition match where it's like one mech against like 6 lights or something. But I could see that becoming a form of competitive gameplay. That could be pretty cool. Whitworth landing 6 LRMs on the right torso and arm of our Mark II Archer, down to 4 armor on the torso and 6 on the arm. Porcupiner and Aqua Gladius. Oh man, that Aqua Gladius is just so undergunned though. I guess all of its tonnage goes into special equipment, but also I was a little underwhelmed by the taser. The taser sounds good on paper, but I feel like all the rolls you have to make are probably not worth the weight and other expenses of using it. Because it's been a while since I read about it, but it runs hot or something like that. Something makes me not want to use it. I forget what. Trebuchet missing with his LRMs. Someone hits the Archer Mark II in the right leg for 4. Left torso in the right leg. That must be air support. Because air support firing, I guess, 2 SRM4s. If you hit with 2 missiles and then 3, would do that. Taser and flail. It's such a silly little specialized mech. That's the thing. If you could do an underwater match, the Aqua Gladius would be pretty awesome. Although the flail would suffer from doing, what is it, half damage underwater? So, again, it just feels slightly conflicted as a mech. Like, it has a purpose, but then it has parts that are counter to that purpose. Like, if I was going to design an underwater mech, it would have PPCs and lasers and torpedoes, not a flail. See, and no one would have known what the thing was if it wasn't for my Let's Talk Battletech entry on it. This is true. This is absolutely true. So yeah. I mean, speaking of things that wouldn't have been possible without your Let's Talk Battletech, I mean, I just have to give you this consistent shower of praise and thank yous for attracting so many viewers to my channel. So I do appreciate that. I return the favor, I guess, by shouting out your Twitter, which for anyone watching who missed it just now, it's Let's Talk Battletech on Twitter. Let me kick you on an 8. You on an 8. Or that would be a 10 for a punch. I think we can risk the kick. If we disable that wasp, that would be pretty awesome. And we didn't knock down the Shadow Hawk, so we can punch him in the head. Or the center torso rear, stripping him down to 0 armor. We did miss our kick, but we didn't fall down at least. Fire is burning brightly, light smoke. Archer is at 5 heat. Wolverine is at 2. Hoser is at 5 heat. So this was just a hot turn for us. Whitworth is at 10, so he's going to be moving at even more of a snail's pace and taking a gunnery penalty. Speaking of which, the Whitworth, I think, had a pretty good pilot. Yeah, they've got a pretty good pilot in that Whitworth. He's a 2-3. All right, we continue winning initiative, partly because of that +4 bonus, and partly because we just outrolled him. He's down to 90%, we're down to 94.5. Didn't MechWarrior Online have a Solaris event expansion now that I think about it? I never really played MechWarrior Online, and by never really, I mean, like, not once. So I wouldn't know. Oh, it does. That's cool. When I read the words MechWarrior and expansion, I immediately thought of the underwater mission, because we were just talking about underwater mechs. But the underwater mission in, I think it was Ghost Bear's Legacy? Was that in MechWarrior 2 or was that Ghost Bear? I forget. I want to say it was Ghost Bear. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, it's 6. Versus a 4. Is it the difference between walking and running, I think, is the difference? I mean, although honestly, when it comes to Solaris events, when I think of that, I think of tabletop. All of the Solaris events that I've seen or participated in have all been tabletop. MechWarrior 3 is the only MechWarrior game I've ever played. I much prefer Battletech as a strategy game than a simulator. Yeah, same. Lots of sensor returns. Could be 0 returns if I had a nuke to throw at the problem. I mean, forget the sensor returns. The ones we can see are bad enough. You know that one's a hunchback. Must have turned off his light or gotten a shot out or something. Yeah, let's turn on the searchlight for 2. He's got range and mobility enough that I'm less worried about Sue getting shot at. The enemy has a Whitworth. Haven't heard of one of those in a hot minute. Really? I mean, they've been pretty popular as far as I'm aware. For like every era I play in, which is this era mostly. Oh yeah, we need to sync some initiative. This guy. Or gal. Manuel, I guess. Okay, so standing still for a turn was a bad idea. Or that short little hop. Visibility is 2 hexes. He's got 1 medium laser, we have 2. How evasive is he? He jumped 5. We're about to jump 5. I mean, it's not a great exchange. 2 medium lasers and an SRM versus 1 medium laser and an SRM. Honestly, over the campaign, I'm quite surprised at all the LAMs we've seen. Me too. I really thought that those would be more rare than they have been. That said, in the Fighting Bulldogs, which I actually haven't touched since last week, they have about 2 lances worth of LAMs that they've salvaged. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, because they do pop up. They really do. I feel like the RAT generator isn't balanced for rarity very well. Yeah, that would be a very good way of phrasing how I feel about it. I feel like it wasn't balanced for rarity very well. Which, funny enough, did you know there was a Succession War era Merc unit that was nothing but a regiment of LAMs called, I kid you not, Mary's Little Lambs? Oh, that's groan worthy. Ah, Mary's little LAMs. I mean, it's hilarious that they did that, but at the same time, it's such a dad joke. We've got eights on him versus tens. Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess I had moved here anticipating an exchange with the Wolverine, but the Whitworth is the better target with the eights and the tens. Putting us at 4 heat, we're probably going to have to keep that medium laser silent next turn. A regiment of LAMs, though. I only read the Sarna article on them, but I believe they got annihilated late 2900s to 3000, 3000s, 3000s. 31st century. I don't know. I'm stumbling over the year 3000 as a plural. Right. Should be able to use my searchlight to eliminate this hex, right? Because I did turn on the searchlight for 2, I thought. In an RP group for Battletech I'm in, we settled on the name Random Acts of Violence. Nice. Still, a regiment of LAMs. That's... A regiment is... what? How many battalions? And a battalion is like 3 companies. And a company is 3 lances. I think in the lore by the Fourth Succession War, there was only a single LAM factory left in the Inner Sphere. Even if there were still a lot of LAMs left, good luck keeping them running with no spare parts. Yeah, I mentioned that the Fighting Bulldogs have 2 lances worth. Only one of those lances is active, and it does not ever see any action. Because those avionics just take forever to repair. Or the landing gear, or pretty much anything that gets crit every time they get hit with anything. The last LEM factory, by chance, was actively hunted down and destroyed by Clan Nova Cat in the invasion. Interesting little tidbit of lore there. I was not aware of. We'll take a 9, because I guess it's what we've got. We have... well, I suspect that's higher than a 9. That's long range. And last but certainly not least, Hoser with 7s, but only getting the 1 off. Remember when the Shadowhawk and Scorpion quad had LAM variants? I mean, lots of mechs have had unofficial LAM variants, including the Urban Mech, which is just silly to me. But yeah, the Shadowhawk and Scorpion, yeah. The Scorpion LAM, I don't think I ever saw artwork for that or stats, but I think I've heard of it. The Shadowhawk LAM, to me, feels a little redundant on the one hand because you already have the Phoenix Hawk, and also the Shadowhawk. I don't know. I think the Griffin would make a better LAM. I don't know. There are definitely some interesting little tidbits of mechs out there in the periphery of canonicity. Like the Urban Mech LAM. Wolverine does land a hit on the Whitworth with the autocannon to the right leg. Rifleman LAM. Interesting. Absolutely not legal by the rules, because I think it maxes out at, is it 50 or 55 tons is the max for an LAM? I know for a fact it's less than 60. But more than 45, which, because the Phoenix Hawk LAM is 50 tons, and I think that might be the maximum. It's either that or 55. Atlas LAM. I think the Raven would make a good LAM. It's got that kind of nose cone, kind of fuselage shape. Oh, a Marauder would make a really good LAM. That's my top pick. That's my bid that I'm submitting, is the Marauder LAM. 2 PPCs under the wings, autocannon coming out of the fuselage. I like it. So yeah, Wolverine hits the Whitworth with an autocannon 5 and 10 points of SRM damage, including a hit to the head. They have one in Rogue Tech? Cool. I might have to check that out. It's probably not viable as a mech. Just because it would have to be heavier to mount all the extra equipment, among other things, so it would be slower, most likely. I don't know. And for as cool as the Marauder looks, it just, I don't feel like it performs as well on paper. It's too hot and overgunned, and I feel like under armored. But that's just me. So the Trebuchet, landing 9 LRMs on the Mark II Archer, going internal on the left arm, leaving it with 2 structure, and 4 to the right torso, leaving it with 0 armor. Hits with another 9 LRMs, would have hit the head, but goes to the center torso instead, and 4 to the right leg, leaving us with 4 armor there. Hoser, landing his PPC on the Shadowhawk's left torso, leaving him with 8 armor. Shadowhawk missing the Archer on 7s and 9s, Valkyrie missing the infantry on an 11. Wolverine, I guess we will. Well, we've only got 1 punch. That's a 9. That's a 10. Well, I'll take the 25% chance. Wait. 52 points. How is that? How is a 9 52% likely to hit? I'm missing something here. Natural aptitude piloting. That includes physical attacks? I had no idea. Shadowhawk punching the awesome in the right arm and the center torso rear for 7 points each, leaving us with 17 armor on the arm and 12 on the center torso rear. Wolverine trying to kick our Wolverine and missing, our Wolverine trying to punch and missing, and their Wolverine almost goes down. Needs a 4, gets a 4. Wolverine is at 4 heat. Whitworth is at 8. Trebuchet is at 6. Everyone else is pretty chill. We've won initiative, but not because we rolled better than them, and they're still at 90%. So that was a less than productive turn. Let's see. That must be the Hunchback, who I really don't want to be super close to. So we are going to walk recklessly on a 4. We're going to fail one of these soon enough. And I'm trying to stave that off by calling it out. Trying to unjinx us. The thing about jinxes, though, is that the more you talk about them, the more complicated it gets who's getting jinxed and how. Silent KLM. I feel like that scene in Rick and Morty where he turns into a car, only it's me and it's a jet. That would be interesting. That is heavy smoke, but no woods there. And then you could be the handsomest MiG around. I appreciate that. Thank you. I've always thought of myself as more of a, what is it, the F-14 was, I don't know. When I was a kid, we had a flight simulator. It was F-14 Strike Eagle, if I recall. Maybe it was F-15. I don't know jets very well. And it's become clear to me I don't know tanks as well as I thought either, but tanks, tanks at least I know some of. Jets, not so much. Ooh, we can get into close range with this Wolverine. Might be a mistake. He's still at full armor. Oh. Still at full armor. 4-5 pilot. Jumped 5. If he decides he wants us as a target, there's not going to be much we can do. I think we're better off keeping our distance. I barely know aviation. I was a tanker through and through. Yeah, same. That one little that one little story about having played a specific game is just about all I've really got when it comes to aviation. I never even did like flight simulator games. Alright, Archer moved recklessly successfully. Mark III moved through fire will generate extra heat. Strike Eagle was an amazing game for its time, it really was. I remember dropping bombs on targets and stuff, it was pretty cool. I guess I was probably less impressed with the technology than did flight sims. Cool. I don't know. I guess at the time, like I was saying, I was more impressed with the gameplay than the technology behind it. Another one that my dad played a lot of was called Silent Service. That was kind of similar, but much slower paced. It was submarines. But it was basically like a submarine simulator. Don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Silent Service. I bet Varank has heard of it. He's heard of most of my old games. Oh, wait, yeah, we were keeping the lasers quiet this turn. Sure. $12. Is that even worth the ammo? Well, we've got an 11 as well. 11s and 9s. Not gonna hit with much of anything this turn, I don't think. Fourteens, 13s. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Got 11s. We're just gonna be missing everything this turn. The unofficial Grognard uncle of chat. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything along those lines, but I mean, I don't want to say anything rude or mean. Alright, our Wolverine landed 5 SRMs on their Wolverine, including a hit to the head, left torso, center torso, right arm, and right leg. Whitworth landing 8 missiles on our Mark II Archer to the right torso, going internal and critting out the LRM-20 twice, and then following that up with 3 more missiles to the right torso for no crit. Blackjack misses the Whitworth. Archer taking air fire to the left torso and right torso, destroying it and blowing off the right arm. It was much more of an RPGer than a grognard, but I played with some who would do Napoleonics every weekend. Plays advanced squad leader with me and I go home with a bowl of candy. Alright, so the Mark II Archer is in really bad shape now. About to lose an arm, already lost his right arm and torso. 15 to nothing in a hurry. Missing on a bunch of 12s. Missing. Well, this is going less than swimmingly now. Do I want to kick an infantryman? No. No, not with those odds. Punching on 10s and 12s. Can't kick because we fired the leg lasers. We'll punch on a 10 and 12, no risk. Shadowhawk kicks the Mark III Archer in the left leg for 12, leaving it with 14 armor remaining. So one thing I had considered is that if things go too far south, the version of MekHQ that we're playing now does not keep track of victory points, but I feel like if we need to, we have victory points to spare from all those victories earlier in the month. We could declare defeat, and since this isn't another, base attack mission, we wouldn't lose the contract. I know it's less than realistic. We're losing BV badly. Yeah, like I was saying, I know it's less than realistic that if we're being chased down and we fail the mission, then we have presumably been chased down, and there's no escaping. But at the same time, I really don't want a total unit wipe if they, just obliterate us in this one mission. So if it starts to look too hairy, I mean, I don't want to abuse the system, but at the same time, I kind of feel like we don't have anything to gain by finishing this mission. We're not going to be picking up any salvage. Yeah, I just feel like this mission is kind of an opportunity to lose stuff, but not really gain anything. So I don't want to take advantage of the fact that we have imaginary victory points to spare. But at the same time, I don't want to lose everything that I've worked so hard for in one bad luck mission where we were outnumbered and outmaneuvered. And start over fresh. I mean, I don't want to end the run just because of one bad mission. I mean, I know that is how it goes for some mercenary units. Sooner or later, eventually. But before I do that, searchlight on. I want to shoot something, maybe this wasp. Precious BV, buckaroo value. I mean, I try not to rely too heavily on it as um, that's a lie. I rely on BV to balance matches more than tonnage or anything else. Um, I try not to let it be a crutch, but there's really no better method. Need to walk the dog. I'm getting noise. I need to go. All right. Oh wow, we're already more than an hour into this. Gundam Tech has shown me how screwy BV is as a system. Yeah, once you get into the fringe cases, real quick, see you later, Varank. Catch you tomorrow, presumably. But yeah, I feel like BV is especially screwy when you start doing weird things with mechs, like leaving tonnage on the table or something like that. Um, or in like cases where you've got lots of small units or versus a few big units. Um, but for the standard kind of missions that we're doing, it is, I think, better than just straight tonnage or uh, really any other means that I can think of balancing a fight. That said, this is what losing BV looks like. So, I mean, we're still mobile for the time being. If what happens to our right torso happens to our right leg next, we're going to be in serious trouble. Our center torso is holding strong. Left torso has ammo in it. How much ammo? A lot of ammo. If I recall, against the bot generate top 4 based on the weight of your lance, not battle value. Um, yes. And that's why I've been trying to optimize my lances to the top of their class. That will change once we start using StratCon. In StratCon, it does balance by BV, which I definitely have mixed feelings about. I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about BV as well. Just the simple fact is that it's not perfect, but like I try to put my mechs or my lances at the top of the weight class, but then uh, I'll use BV to kind of judge whether we've got an advantage or disadvantage going into a fight, and try to roll with that. I really don't want to lose this archer though, but I don't really know what else I can do besides having him eject and flee. Actually, forced withdrawal, he should be able to flee. He's just so far away from the edge. Let's do it like this. We'll take the 9. That's going to be also an 11 because he's more evasive and also a secondary target. Vedette, firing an autocannon 5 or just the searchlight? Just the searchlight. Ah, Bernita is pretty well crippled. An example in Gundam Tech, the Dom high-speed experimental type clocks in at just 355 BV. It's one of the fastest mobile suits in the game. And its heavy machine gun and beam axe, medium vibroblade combo makes it one of the nastiest close quarters combat mobile suits in the game. But it's somehow only 20 BV more than the stock RGM-79 GM model, which is like the locust of Gundam. That's I don't know how to explain that. I know that BV takes speed into account pretty heavily. It's been a long, long time since I've calculated a BV by hand. So I forget how it prioritizes everything, but it does seem weird that like a very mobile, well-armed mech uh, it only ranks so many higher points. So 11s versus 12s. Well, it's 3 times more likely. It's a glaring example of how some things should have bigger BV. In this case, engine and melee weapons don't have enough BV accountability. Isn't, well, the speed acts as a multiplier, if I recall correctly. So if you don't have very many points aside from mobility, you're not going to have very many points after you account for the mobility either. The Gelgoog, for example, the normal MS-14A model is nearly 800 to 900 BV. Probably because it has like a PPC or something. PPCs are worth a lot of points because they do big punchy damage. So even one PPC is gonna have a, it's gonna be worth nearly what, 400 points on its own, I think. And Petra does not have a single target, it looks like. Oh no, we've got the Trebuchet. Oh, and their air support is making everything miserable too. It has an ER medium laser. You're thinking of the Stutzer, which is 1100 BV. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. We'll go with the 10s. It's the best shot we've had in a little while. Wonder what happened to all those 7s and 8s that I was getting before. I mean, even Hoser's only getting 9. Oh, that's because of the smoke. Do the same thing again. I don't like the odds. I'm only going to build up 2 heat rather than 5. I want to keep moving as much as possible. Fourteens, 15s, 14s. Yeah, the Valkyrie's gotten too far away to have any impact on the fight. Okay. Their Wolverine firing at our Blackjack and missing. Our Archer firing at their Wasp and missing. Their Wasp firing at the Blackjack, starting a fire in his Hex and hitting with 1 SRM to the left leg, leaving us with 20 armor. Our Wolverine at their Wasp LAM and missing on 9s and 11s. Their Wolverine at the Blackjack hitting with an autocannon 5 to the center torso, leaving 14 armor remaining. Blackjack on the Whitworth does land one of his 11s to the right arm, leaving it with 2 armor remaining. Our Orion landing 6 missiles on the Trebuchet, all of it to the right leg, leaving it with 9. Whitworth at the Orion landing 6 missiles to the right arm and left torso. Wasp missing. Our Archer Mark III landing a medium laser on the Shadowhawk's left arm, leaving him with 2 armor. Scorpion missing. Alright, Hoser. I saw internals and I thought I saw head. Misses with the first one, hits with the second on a 12. To the left arm, which goes internal and leaving it with 1 structure and critting on the hand. Followed that up with a medium laser to the left arm, destroying that and transferring into the left torso rear, which crits on the autocannon. Also destroying his right arm and transferring into his right torso rear, leaving him with 2 armor. It's just amazing what devs thought BV value meant for certain equipment. The GM Elite is hardly what I call a combat beast, but due to its heavy support equipment, probe, ECM, AMS, tag, makes it nearly 1.5 times the value of a heavy combat unit like a Gelgoog. Yeah, that sounds like they probably overvalued that stuff. That said, C3 is another one that costs a lot of points, but I can see why, because that really does act as a force multiplier. And I would say that tag and ECM also act as force multipliers. So how do you calculate how much stronger your force as a whole is based on a piece of equipment that only one of them has? Shadowhawk lands an SRM-2 on the Archer Mark III before falling down on his right side and taking 6 to the left torso and chest, and narrowly avoiding taking pilot damage. Punch him on a 10, or probably not. Kick him on a 10, I don't think so. Wolverine does punch the Blackjack in the right leg twice on 8s, gets a 10 and a 12. So that's 12 armor from the right leg, leaving us with 10. Whitworth is at 9 heat, jumps out at me. Everyone else is at 2 or less, looks like. Alright, let's start by syncing some initiative. Let's get the Valkyrie the heck on out of here. Get the Archer the heck on out of here too. I was afraid that was going to be the turn that it came back to bite me. All these 4s that I've been risking. I was really worried that the one guy I was trying to get out of there would be the one who fell. Oh, Shadowhawk is crippled and withdrawing. That is great news. That means we can stop chasing him. We're, again, not worried about salvage. I say we organize a unit of 100 scope dogs and flood them. I mean, that's what we call a swarm, and it's not considered sportsmanlike. That said, there's no such thing as sportsmanlike in war. Oh no, these guys have all moved on. Alright, everyone succeeds until the Shadowhawk, who falls trying to get up to his left side, taking 5 to the torso, critting out the autocannon 5 some more. Left arm going into the left torso, and then falls, destroying the left torso. That must be when he went into forced withdrawal, is when he lost the side torso. Fails to avoid damage, needs a 7 to stay conscious, rolls an 8. Alright, I want to hold off and see if they shoot at you. If they shoot at you, we're shooting back, because I think I already broke the rules of forced withdrawal. So I just want to see how that plays out. Shoot a couple of 10s at the waft, keeping our heat in check. Petra at the Wolverine on an 8, I'll take that. And a couple 10s. For 1 more heat, the LRM-10 does 2 more damage. That's a pretty good ratio. I don't know, potentially, but forced withdrawal is something the pirates and brigands of HBS need to learn. Agreed. Very much agreed. And yes, they are attacking the archer on 8s and 10s, which means that we are clear to fire back, except that we have nothing that'll reach him. Okay, we've got a 12 with the medium laser on the Wolverine at least, which means an 8 with the LRM-20. I know he's got partial cover, so half of that's going to hit his legs, but better than nothing. Wyvern on 11s at this Wolverine. 11s all around. Skip the last one. 10s versus 12s. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. No. I really want those 10s more than those 12s. We're going to go 10, 10, 12, 12. Build up a little bit of heat. Nothing major. And Hoser doesn't appear to have a target at all. I'm gonna hold off on shooting at this Shadowhawk because I don't want him to try and shoot me in the back next turn. Well, he's down to an SRM-2, but we're not gonna salvage him, so it doesn't really matter if we take him down or not. I'd rather avoid the damage. Wow, that's some range on that thing. That is a lot of range on that thing. Alright, yeah, Valkyrie's got no shot at all. Alright. Our Wolverine at the Wasp hits the left torso with a medium laser, leaving him with 1 armor remaining. Our Orion at the Wolverine hits the medium laser to the head, forcing their first consciousness check. Their Wolverine at our Archer, missing on 9s and 10s. Infantry miss, Archer misses, Whitworth misses, Archer Mark III also missing, Wasp LAM missing. Blackjack does land a hit on the Wolverine to the right torso for 8, leaving him with 12 armor. And then, oh, the Archer just out of nowhere takes 8 more damage to the center torso. Because what's not fair about air support in a mission like this where they can see you and you never even get a heads up that they exist. We'll punch on a couple of 12s. Just out of curiosity, that would be a 9 and a 7. Already taken a head hit? No. That would be either right or center torso. Yeah, it's not worth it. Did actually land a punch on a 12 to the center torso, leaving him with 0 armor remaining. That is some good rolling by our newest guy, Pedro. When I say newest, he actually got hired a while back. We just never put him in a mech. Wolverine is at 3 heat. Blackjack is at 2 heat. Wolverine is at 2 heat. Whitworth is at 7 still. Heck you, Wasp. Only we had basic NVGs in the 31st century, I suppose, right? Well, we're pulling ahead as far as forces remaining, but only just. That's about 0.4% difference. Although supposedly with the heat, the mechs of this universe buildup might as well be blinded on thermals, right? Yeah, thermal imaging would be really good. Honestly, the more you think about the ranges and the visibility and the sensors and everything, the less sense the game makes. The time maybe to break back and rejoin the group. Yeah, it is. We're gonna go reckless, and we're gonna do it backwards. Hope we get a 4. Huzzah! Gives us a range of 5, which is not great for our LRMs. It's not great for our lasers either. But I think it's the best move we've got in the long term. Four, five, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hoser. How do you feel about trying to make a 6? Oh wait, Frank is gone. Frank went to walk his dog, my bad. I can tolerate the short ranges because if ranges were realistic, you'd need a football field to play your tabletop game on. To be fair, you could argue to just make the hex scale larger, but the realistic ranges are at least for the most part seen in the books. But if you make the hexes larger, you would have to change the stacking rules, in my opinion. Because a 30-meter hex with a 12-meter mech in it should be able to stack more than one in a hex, but they say that it controls that area and doesn't allow enemies to move through. But if a hex was 50 or 100 meters, that becomes even more ridiculous. They would have to change the stacking rules, if nothing else, in my opinion. I knew it was a risk. I knew it was. Takes 8 to the left arm and right torso, and fails to avoid damage. Ouch. Did not get very far. Needs a 4 to stand up. Did we do it? Yes, yes we did. Well, there's always next turn. Because apparently Princess doesn't like moving recklessly. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage and break away from the pack. The Valkyrie still just needs to keep running like heck. Yes, we already read the awesome fill down, went boom. I mean, I guess 6 hexes isn't... Oh, wait. Yeah, no. We've already broken the rules, so... A 9 and an 8. Or, actually... Check my options here. 11... 7. 7 on the Whitworth is not bad. We'll take the 7 on the Whitworth and the 9 on the Wolverine. Where's the... Oh, this is the loss we've already hit. He is super evasive. 13s, that's not gonna happen. Even that's a 12. Yeah, we'll just take the 1 pot shot, take a cooldown turn, I think. 7. I like a 7. What we got here? We've got illuminated, we've got 9s and 11. Yeah, we'll take the 7. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second by the incoming fire. 9s. Use some of the ammo that we're using less of. Here's the 5 range. 10s versus 10s versus 9s. Actually, if we make that our primary target, we can make that as good as an 8. Yeah, let's try and take out this Whitworth. He's done a significant amount of damage for his size. And then since we've got the heat to spare, we'll go ahead and throw some medium lasers at the Wolverine. Twelves, 14s. Well, I guess 12 is the best shot we're gonna have. And Hoser, trapped in all this smoke, has no visibility on anybody. The Valkyrie is too far away to do any good. Alright. The Archer at the Whitworth, landing 12 missiles to the right arm, destroying it into the right torso. And the last 2 missiles would have hit the left leg, but it's underwater. Bunch of misses, bunch more misses. The Whitworth returning fire, lands 3 missiles to the center torso. Mark 3 Archer at the Whitworth lands 12 more missiles to the right arm, transferring into the right torso and the left torso. The LAM missing, the Blackjack missing on 12s. Did the Whitworth not need to hit him with 12 LRMs plus... Oh, because his leg doesn't count. And I kept hitting that leg, so he took less than 12 damage, 20 damage. We missed our punch, no surprise. We're all at 1 or 2 heat. The Whitworth is at 5, even in the water. We have rolled really well on the initiative this turn. Alright, Vernita, you are going to flee the battlefield. Because I really don't want you taking any more damage than you already have. Petra, go reckless and backwards. On a 4, we're gonna fail one of those eventually, and the 6 doesn't count. The 6 was me pushing my luck, which is something I need to learn when to do, because I suck at that. Alright, Hoser needs a 4, gets the 4. One of those is gonna bite me in the butt, sooner or later. There is no doubt in my mind. Yeah, that's the Mark III. Not what I thought he was going to do. Is the smoke blocking LOS is what I want to know. Line of sight is blocked. But maybe next turn, him and Hoser are gonna tangle. That could be good for us. LOS doesn't matter with a nuke. Agreed. Yes, you're very much correct. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have access to nukes. Um, Also, the words danger close mean anything to you? We would be caught in that blast so badly. 11. And an 8. Yeah, we'll take an 8. We'll take a 12. We'll take two 12s. And we'll take another 8. Ooh, back shots. Two, 3. And a couple of 8s leaves us at 4 heat. Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking that Wolverine down a peg or 3. Tsubasa is going to be targeting, well, shoot, nobody on 14s. Or 15s, or out of range. So much smoke from just that one fire we started. Oh, we've got 8s on the Wolverine. I should have led with that. If there is a danger close limit with a nuke, standard artillery in our doctrine is no closer than 500 meters, but the US, I guess, didn't care when the whole portable nuke Davy Crockett project was around in the 60s. I don't know what the range on a Davy Crockett is, or the area of effect, but I'm assuming you're trying to get it to go more than 500 meters. I mean, that's a long way to launch a thing from a man-portable unit, but presumably it was a really small nuke. Alright, the Wolverine missing the Phoenix Hawk, the Orion hitting the Wolverine in the right torso with that autocannon, and 6 LRMs to follow it up to the legs. Wolverine missing the Archer on 9s and 11s, the Archer missing the Wolverine on 10s. Oh, landing a hit on the left leg, and then landing 9 LRMs to the right torso and right arm, critting out a heatsink. Nice. And then 12 more LRMs to the left torso, hitting the SRM ammo, which then explodes. Wolverine is destroyed by ejection. Nice job. That was... who's in this Archer? That was Wyvern. Wyvern got the kill on the Wolverine. The lucky LRM hit. Well, I mean, I guess not super lucky. It went internal. That's the way things are supposed to go. Whitworth landing 10 LRMs on our remaining Archer to the right arm, right torso, and left arm. LAM landing 4 missiles to the Orion's left leg. Hoser missing all 3 of his 8s and the 10. Can't get a blast radius, but the Davy Crockett had an effective range of 4 kilometers and had a yield of just over 20 tons of TNT. I mean, aside from the radiation, I feel like 2.5 miles should be far enough away from 20 tons of TNT. I don't know how big of a boom a ton of TNT makes. Full disclosure. But I suspect it's less than 2.5 miles for 20 of them. On 11s or on a 12. Well, We'll definitely take a pair of 11s. 15s. Alright, yeah, we missed on both of those 11s. So much light smoke. Alright, the heat. Archer's at 4. Whitworth is down to 4. Finally managed to cool himself off. Alright, we've won the initiative. We're again pulling slightly ahead in losses. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and select him. Well, at least I know I can sync some initiative with this guy. Oh, the end is in sight for one of our units. Everyone else is going to be a little further behind. Is that the move? Do we regroup? Oh, didn't mean to click that. How about we hold off on that? Okay, yeah, I want to occupy those woods. Maybe this whole Davy Crockett thing is a bit too far-fetched. Perhaps we should continue the chicken-powered nuclear landmine. Oh, got jokes. Dark humor jokes. That chicken-powered nuclear landmine is just wrong. I know I'm laughing, but it's a defensive laugh because I honestly don't know how else to react to something like that. Looking for reckless. Nukes are quite bright, actually. Oh, with the jokes. Alright, Wolverine needs to jump. But where? Perhaps here? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there is a car alarm going off outside. There was a bang and a crunch, so I suspect there was an accident. I'm just gonna look out the window and see if there's a response to that real quick. Oh. Yeah, it got dark. So, short answer, yes, there was an accident. It seems like everyone's okay. I saw people milling about. I'm glad I wasn't tasked to be the first responder. You know, because I prioritized this. I honestly at first thought that it was a parked car that got hit, which is why the car alarm was going off, which is why I was less urgent about my response. But I I don't think it was a parked car. It looked like someone got T-boned. But it's a 20-mile-an-hour zone, so probably not too hard, I hope. Do we go super hot for a turn on 9s? I mean, we're jumping around a lot, so I don't think we're gonna get better than 9s. We have eyes on the Whitworth. We do have eyes on the Whitworth. We're not gonna waste ammo on a 12, though. We will waste ammo on a 10. Nines, not great, but I don't see anything better. Blackjack on the Wasp on 11s. Again, not great, but we'll take every shot we can. And then this guy over here, hanging out in the smoke in our rear arc. Not quite rear. Alright, so the Wolverine does hit the Wasp with 4 SRMs to the left leg, right torso, left arm, through armor crit to the hand and lower arm, and 2 to the left leg. The Orion missing, the Phoenix Hawk missing, the Wolverine missing, the Archer missing, the Whitworth landing 8 LRMs because, you know, elite pilots are like that. Hitting the Archer in the left leg and left torso for 8 points. The Blackjack landing one of his medium lasers on the Wasp's left leg, destroying it. That Wasp is no longer a threat. We just have to finish him off. The Awesome missing on an 8 and taking 4 random points of damage to the left torso. The Wasp falls down, takes 2 to the right arm, which is also destroyed, and the pilot does manage to avoid damage. We will try to punch this fool on a 12, sure, because that's the only thing we've got. And do we go for the kick on a 6? Or do we go for the kick on a 9? No, we don't. We'll go ahead and try on a 6 against the prone one. Hitting him in the right arm, which transfers to the right torso, which is destroyed cleanly. And I think end of round 17, beginning of round 18 is where we're going to call it for tonight. We have lost the initiative, which is, you know, not great. But let's go ahead. We will save locally. We're saving over Chase. So that's the same save file we were on. And with that, we're going to bid everyone good night. We'll say thanks for watching. Shout out to everyone who participated. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, be part of the community. Join the Discord, be in chat, you know, all those fun things. And we will see you tomorrow night for some HBS Battletech. Good night, y'all.